What's happening, Andy? Here, I am joined today by Michael Poulin of Kyocera. How are you today, Michael?
I'm great, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. It is great to see you. You are not in New Jersey. You are down in hopefully Florida, sunny Florida. Tell us, where are you today?
I am in sunny South Florida. Yes, I am.
Sunny South Florida.
Beautiful out today. We had a lot of weather yesterday, but the sun's shining. It's a great day.
Excellent, excellent. We are still working towards our nice days in Rochester. We're creeping up towards it, but it was snowing yesterday. It's April, everybody. So, that's Rochester. That's what we're dealing with. We are here to talk about one of the more exciting, if not probably to you, the most exciting product at Kyocera, benchmark product. I saw it years ago when they started teasing us with it at some of their dealer meetings. And now here we are several years later, 2 years after launch, the Pro 15000c, the inkjet production press printer. What do you call it? That's your baby. You're the director of that program. Let's talk today about production print and your babies. Tell me about the device.
All right, I will. So again, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been really exciting this past few months. A lot going on with the product. Like you said, it's a sheet fed inkjet production press. Some would call it a printer. I call it a press. Whatever you're comfortable with, really. There's no right or wrong. It's running at about 150 sheets a minute, or 146 to be specific, letter size impressions. It's got full, large capacity input output, so it can run. It's made for high volume production. It was originally targeted around the 1 million prints duty cycle. We've seen our customers running up to 2.5 million. We think it's totally capable of 3 million. So that was one of the things that we're trying to get the word out, and one of the things we're changing right now. As you said, the product launched back in April 2020. And, in that time, not a lot of activity back then. Pandemic, people had higher priorities. So we took some time and learned the product, and now we're kind of taking another look at it and what it can do. And the big push right now is it can do more volume than we thought. It can print better quality than we thought. It's way more robust than we thought. So all really good news, and that's why we're talking to folks like you, and appreciate the ability to get this word out.
So let's take a step back, because you're known as a very strong player in A4 laser. You're known for a company that makes extremely reliable A3 products. That was, your heritage, because of that drum, that coating that you guys had on that drum all those years, particularly in monochrome. But nobody in my world really ever considered Kyocera, for the most part, an inkjet player. But, I'm an analyst. I read a lot of things that maybe people in the copy world may not come across. And, I was well aware for a long time that Kyocera is a major player in inkjet, even though you really didn't have an inkjet line. You didn't have an office inkjet line. You had no production products, yet your technology was used across the board in some cases by some of the biggest names in production print and inkjet. Tell me a little bit about, the heritage that you guys have there at Kyocera with inkjet, and then let's talk about some of the evolution you've seen in the last couple of years since the launch.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, if you go way back, Kyocera is really a ceramics company.
Yes.
Right. That's where they got their started. Actually, Kyocera is a condensed version of Kyoto Ceramics, right? So it's a ceramics company. And one of the major things that they've produced over the past several years, going back probably 15, 20 years, are Piezo printheads for the inkjet industry. And they're everywhere. They're very popular in textile printing, but also there are some very major players in the production print world that use the Kyocera printheads in their own products. So they've been in inkjet printing for a long time. They're also in wide format and others. So a few years ago, they decided to build a machine around it. And like you said, they've been always well known for building very robust, strong, heavy-duty engines. All their products, the phones and the other things that they've done over the years, all very robust. So they put that that robust development process behind a very robust print head, and they created this product for the production print space. And it's been just a great product. And it's like I say, it's the best product nobody's heard of. So that's why we want to get this out there. We want your dealers to really take a look at it. And if they've got that production capability, this is a product they really should be looking at.
So when you guys came out with this a couple of years ago, the big markets you were focusing on and targeting, and both internally with your Kyocera reps, but also, over the last 2 years, you signed 3 partners: Ricoh, MCS. There was another one, Blue Crest. Yes. So and that's just in our market. You have some international major partners as well in Europe. Same thing that other companies have taken on. What is it about the product? What I really want to know is, when it came out, it was fast. It was inexpensive, and you weren't pushing quality. It was transactional, Transpromo, quick stuff for mailing, and just things that printer for maybe some output that didn't necessarily have to be the clearest of the clear, but just needed it quick and fast. So mailing houses were perfect, Transpromo, perfect transaction. So, but you've gone a lot further in the last 2 years, and part of that press release that we saw kind of identified some new markets. So let's talk about, the evolution, and, what have you found? And obviously you mentioned you're able to push it forward with that, you're, instead of 1 million pages, we're creeping on 3. So tell me about these new areas of opportunity.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, the first thing is, when it was launched, it found a great niche. It plays down in the high-end production machine, in that high volume production with the toner engines. So some really high quality toner engines and fast toner engines. It's there for speed, but it's got all the economics of the inkjet devices. So there really wasn't anything in that range. You either had to bring those toner engines up, or you had to go and find the very high end, 300 feet page per minute inkjet machines that are, getting up close to $1 million.
Yeah.
So that was the first step. Is it did find a really good niche in that area. But to your point, yes, we really focused on the uncoated papers and the transactional market space. It was a fairly easy market space to get into, because the quality wasn't all that demanding. So it was a great place to start. But what we found out is we've tested a lot of medias, got some really good inkjet medias on board. And, like I said, these print heads are in some of the best machines out there in the world. So we've been able to match that quality and just get some amazing quality with the right paper and the right combination. And now we have the right color management skills and all the things that come into play. And now we've really broadened our applications, and we're out there in a lot of different marketplaces. Where we are growing, we sold to some general commercial printers, some direct mailers, really getting a lot of traction in implants, very good traction in like school districts and things like that demand a lot of high volume and a lot of color. So just really broadening the applications now with these new medias and a lot of the experience that we've had with our color management skills.
Well, that's exciting, very exciting. But of course, when you start broadening into new markets, right? Probably one of the more critical things outside of the image quality and the speed is the finishing. Let's talk about because when you launched this thing, it was right at the beginning. You hadn't even showed it to anybody. So where have we come in the last 2 years as far as partners that you've established? Because that adds a lot of credibility too. You obviously can't do it all on your own. Your competitors don't. They use some major finishing companies that we've all heard of, and a lot of the dealers and resellers sell. And they're the ones that some of these print shops and implants, CRDs, they come to expect, right? So tell me about the progress you guys have made on that. What kind of partners are you working with now, and where do you go from here?
So right now we are working with a few different partners to build those relationships. It wasn't a primary focus up front, but it's been a request from a lot of our dealers and from our end user customers to broaden the finishing. The product does have its own set finisher, which can do some pretty basic things, 3-hole punch, small booklet folds and things like that. So that's an integrated product that has been part of the unit from day one, but we really want to expand on that. We want larger books, full-blown books. We want to be able to do all the different finishing options that are out there from all the different companies. So that is something we're working on. We expect to have full inline finishing before the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
But right now we're still, fully capable of doing nearline. Everyone can, and we're building those relationships so that when the inline is ready to launch, we'll be ready to go.
That is awesome. So, the more flexible you make it, obviously, the more places the dealers will find to fit it in, right? And speaking of the dealers, tell me about the support system, because that was kind of the press release that I think facilitated this, this chat today. You guys, you had a little bit of restructuring. You've added some people to the team to help market this product. You mentioned the best product nobody's ever heard of. So clearly, you're tasked with and I'm helping you with that, right? Let's get the word out. Tell me about the expansion of the marketing group and where you see things going.
So yeah, thank you for that. The first step was to broaden the marketing group. They brought me on. We had some people there already, some really good folks. We expanded the product marketing team. We expanded the production print support team, so our field sales support team. And then we also brought on a business development person. So really pushing out into the world. So interviews like this is just one piece of it. We've got press releases. We've got releases being built with end user customers to show how they're using the machine. We'll be out and about to a lot of the different major trade shows this year. So we're getting out there. The other side of that was the internal resources and the other support teams. So gotten a lot of help from the service and support team. From the service side, they've really stepped up, broadened their reach, broadened their training programs. So they're fully engaged. So once we do get an install, they really take over, and they've got a great support system there. We've got other workflow analysts that are getting engaged, and more people from the outbound marketing teams and lead generation. It's every aspect of Kyocera is really putting an effort in to this product, and it's really starting to show.
So you guys, that support system, that's not just for the small number. I know Kyocera does have a handful of branches, but that's there for the dealers, right? So this isn't, you're just going to sell the product to the dealers that are kind of on their own, the way it is with A3, with A4, unless they have a bit of a hiccup. Are you guys there with them throughout the sale? Are you there? Do you get involved with the rep if they, this is a pretty significant device. This is not, your typical copier, right? So, and especially early on when they're just getting into it, is this geared to help them sell it, or is this really a higher level?
Absolutely. No, we're there. We built up the support team to help them. Like you said, this isn't a quick sale. So it can take 6 months. And it's a longer sales cycle. It takes an investment on both ends, both on the sales side to walk that customer through everything they need to understand. There's workflow that needs to be taken in. You've got to feed this thing 150 pages a minute. So you've got some workflow. You've got to make sure you've got that data and workflow solutions available. What are you going to do with it on the backside? We talked about finishing. So there's a lot of things that need to be understood fully. And then how are you going to support it if there's problems or in the future and all of that. So that's why we built out these teams. And the first step was the production print specialists. They're there to work hand in hand with the dealers, especially walking you through the first couple of sales cycles. They're there to help train all the dealer sales team to get them up to speed. We do demos. We help with print sample generation, every aspect of it. And then once the dealer, the goal is to get them self-sufficient. And once they are, if they bring on new people, we'll come back in and we'll help train them or give them updates or whatever needs to be done. But really the goal is to get them self-sufficient, but we're there every step of the way.
Awesome. Very exciting. Well, it was very nice of you to come on and talk to us about that, about the updates and what's happening with the program. I look forward personally to seeing you guys out there at a show. It's been a while since I actually got to see that machine, just since we all kind of went away. It's easier to set up an A4 and A3 that at a trade show than that behemoth. So I know that can probably, I'm imagining, takes at least if not several hours, at least a day or two. Sometimes I know the big guys can take even a week in some cases. So sophisticated machine. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, Michael. Any last shout outs to anybody?
Just thank you to you and all your supporters. Hopefully it would generate some interest with this. Yeah, we'll be at a couple of shows. We'll definitely be out there and showing off this product, and look forward to meeting everybody.
Excellent. We'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you at the Kyocera show. We were talking earlier. We think it's in June. Not 100% on the dates, but we will see you guys out there somewhere, and hopefully we'll all have some good coverage of this. We'll get some video of it in action. Michael, thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.